This invasive species often arrives in herds, as if Tucson were their own territory. And with their aggressive nature, they brazenly cause destruction, devouring entire vegetable gardens, leaving residents in the area sleepless night after night. But today is the day we've decided not to stand by any longer. We set out on a hunt to protect our peaceful way of life. After nearly an hour of moving, our group, accompanied by a pack of hunting dogs, entered the dense forest. It didn't take long for the dogs to pick up on something unusual. A series of urgent barks pierced the silence, signaling that the battle was about to begin. At the source of the barking, a lone wild boar was trying to hide. I raised my rifle and pulled the trigger by instinct, but unfortunately, the low, dense branches obstructed my view, causing the bullet to miss its mark and giving the boar a chance to escape. Determined not to let it get away, the hunting dogs immediately gave chase, driving the boar into an open area. This time, at close range, I was able to take it down with a single precise shot. The boar collapsed on spot. Not a bad start, but I knew I still needed sharper focus and better judgment to make it through the rest of this journey. Lone wild boars were not the main targets of our hunt. After the brief encounter in the woods, we continued toward the next hill, an area with rugged terrain, tangled underbrush, and steep cliffs, an ideal hiding place for wild boars. From up high, scanning the surroundings, I quickly spotted a herd of nearly 10 wild boars charging downhill like living arrows. My rifle locked onto a target immediately. One boar was hit and dropped onto the rocky, dry, grass-covered ground. Amid the chaos, I managed to aim at the lead boar. The rest scattered in confusion, frantically trying to flee into the dense bushes. A critical shot pierced its belly. By midday, we changed our ambush position. This time, it was 2 wild boars silently weaving through the bushes. The sharp crack of the rifle startled them, causing them to split and dash off in opposite directions. I had to choose just one to lock onto. Hunting in such rugged terrain under the harsh, scorching sun is proving to be no easy task. Still gripping our rifles, the whole group lifted our spirits and pressed on in search of the next target. As we made our way downhill, a wild boar entered our line of sight. Not willing to give a chance to escape like before, I raised my gun and took careful aim. This time, the boar didn't escape my sights. Another trophy marked for today's hunt. By this point, there wasn't much daylight left, and the constant movement across varied terrain had begun to wear us down. So, we decided to continue the hunt by car. Along the way, one of our friends spotted another herd of wild boars, larger than the one we'd seen on the hill, creeping toward the road leading into the residential area. We stopped the car, and a volley of gunshots rang out, stopping them before they could set foot on the main road. The shots worked. The startled boars turned around and bolted in the opposite direction, trying to escape the hunting party. But we weren't about to let up. Two of my friends, without hesitation, grabbed their rifles and chased the herd into an open field. Before long, one of them had closed the distance with a wild boar, only about 3 meters away. A sharp, powerful shot rang out, and he brought down the next target of the day.
For the past 2 weeks, villagers in a rural region of Turkey have been constantly complaining about wild boars destroying their crops and even attacking livestock at night. Despite trying various traditional methods, the problem persisted. Faced with this urgent situation, our hunting team teamed up with the locals to take action. And so began the chase for these destructive invaders. This would be our first ambush of the day. We had just gotten into position when the first dark shapes started to emerge from the distance. Startled by the gunshot, the boar bolted, crashing through the underbrush trying to escape. After several more rounds, it finally collapsed onto the forest floor, and I couldn't help but celebrate the moment. Following that first success,
Our team advanced up the mountain slope.
we immediately got into position, constantly adjusting our scopes as the herd moved unpredictably through the rough terrain. The first shots were fired from a considerable distance, a real challenge. But thanks to sharp focus and accurate shooting, we managed to bring down several targets in the blink of an eye. We had only moved a short distance when suddenly, another familiar silhouette appeared. The moment it poked out from the brush,
Iffy red, quick, clean.
and precise. Not far from there,
Another wild boar darted out.
I stood my ground, gripped the rifle tightly, and opened fire. Unfortunately, my first shot missed.
J20 the animal a chance to sprint away.
Luckily, my hunting partner had been waiting further down the slope. Right beside us, another friend fired and sent a second boar tumbling to the ground. The loud barking of our hunting dogs led us to another boar trying to hide. But this one wouldn't go down easy.
Le VN d'instinct driven.
It slipped through narrow gaps and dense foliage. Our team opened fire, but the boar kept weaving through the undergrowth.
Toute manœuvrine et vribulet. In the herd managed to escape.
Leaving us behind, frustrated and regretful. We pressed on over rugged, rocky trails, making our way toward the mountain peak. Scanning the landscape ahead, we spotted a herd of boars charging downhill. Determined not to let them get away, we quickly spread out and blocked off key escape routes. As soon as the boars broke from the trees, my buddy and I opened fire.
Letting off a storm of bullets.
Despite their frantic dash, two of them fell almost instantly. We were certain more wild boars were still hiding nearby. The team kept searching. Suddenly, under fierce pursuit by our dogs, a huge boar burst from the bushes, startling everyone. But this was no ordinary prey. It was strong, fast, and surprisingly agile. One final burst, then it collapsed in the middle of the forest, bringing an end to a truly intense encounter.